You're watching the morning show on ETV. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's just gone after 7 o'clock, so I know the kids are steadily making their way towards school, but you are maybe still sitting with us and joining us for the rest of the conversations that we have on this Think Tank Tuesday. You are in good company, because right now we're still reflecting on the matric results ever so slightly, but from a different perspective. This time talking about it from a world of tech, and we're talking about unlikely heroes that emerged in the midst of the matric results being brought out. Now, while larger platforms crashed, Maroela Media, a niche Afrikaans language website, became the go-to place for thousands of matriculants to access their results. And joining us this morning to unpack this incredible story are Elaine Krige, as well as, who is the news editor at Maroela Media, and Richard Frank, who is the Chief Technical Officer at Flow Communications, which is the team behind the site's success. And they join us this morning to tell us about that. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the morning show. It's great to have you. The wind and the buzz of the matric results has come, and it's slowly but surely dwindling down. But the buzz on the night before and the morning of and the night of must have been absolutely out of this world for you guys at Maroela Media. Kind of talk us through how you managed to stay afloat in a time where some of the larger platforms where the matriculants were getting their results started crashing one by one. I'll bring it to you, Elaine.
So firstly, it was the first year that the online media was able to publish the results after midnight. Usually we had to wait until 6 o'clock. So already it was a big, and it was quite last minute that the Department of Education told us we would be able to do that. So already, we had to have all our systems in place earlier, had to stay awake, until after midnight, making sure everything works. We've been publishing the matric results since 2013. We were the first online platform to do so. But obviously this year it was a bit different. We also know that a lot of less platforms publish the results this year. For instance, Beeld doesn't publish anymore, so the matric results, weren't in Beeld. So we knew we had a very big responsibility to get the information out there. And also because we have a lot of practice, we have refined our processes, over the years, we were ready to do that. But usually we get about 20,000 views, 20 to, I think 70,000 was the max one year. Sure. So this year was just, it was amazing. And Richard can maybe tell you more about the actual, sitting there and watching the numbers just go up and up, and what do you do?
Yeah, I can imagine there's so many students who are anxious and wanting to find the results. Of course, that's why it was in the news last week of a gentleman who's just recently been arrested for releasing and selling the matric results way before, because it's just such an anxious wait and wanting to find out those results. But Richard, from a technical perspective, a lot of people don't realize that when a lot of people go to the same website at the same time, it can't handle all that pressure, and sometimes it crashes, which is what happened to other platforms. How did you make sure that Maroela Media doesn't crash? Yeah,
so just to put it in perspective, typically we would have about 50,000 hits in an evening. On the night of the matric results, we had 2 million. So that was a 40-fold increase in traffic. And part of that was because some of the sites that usually deliver the results weren't up or weren't delivering results at the time. So everyone came to the matric results site that we were hosting. And in order to manage that, we had to scale the service very quickly to ensure that every matriculant was able to get their results. And there were a lot of anxious people out there.
Yeah. I can imagine, because they're kind of wondering if they're going to be able to get it. If everything is crashing, they're thinking it's a reflection on them and trying to get to the results as quickly as possible. Are you finding that it was easier for a lot of the students who might be reaching onto Maroela Media's site, and it's the first time they interact with your site, that they navigated quite well, considering that it's usually an Afrikaans-only website?
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that 2 million people accessed it really just proves the point. If you look at the number of matrics who actually wrote, it's about 720,000. So it was really everyone's parents, everyone's uncles, family, friends, accessing, I think Richard said, was from other countries as well, Netherlands, some even from Iraq, that managed to navigate our site. And we also know people asked each other on Twitter, where can I find the results? And they said Maroela Media, it's in Afrikaans, but just Google Translate. Yeah. So I really think it was possible.
I think it was reports of 33 requests per second. I can't even put that to mind, of 33 requests per second, and that's at a peak of 70 per second, which is a peak number that you got in the moment. There must have been a lot of lessons that you learned in terms of how to ensure that you're ready for this in future. Like you're rightfully saying, since 2013 you've been doing this, but it's taken, 12 years to get to this point where suddenly you realize, it seems you weren't ready for this. What are some of the learnings that you're taking?
Yeah, so we've grown with experience over the years. At Flow Communications, we're an integrated marketing and communications company, and one of our key strengths is in high traffic sites, which is why Maroela Media contracted us to do this particular piece of work. And so the really most important thing to do is to make sure your website is simple and low bandwidth. The matriks just want their results. They don't want the frills, they don't want photos, they don't want anything else. They just want their results. So we kept the site very low bandwidth, very fast, and that enabled us to scale when the traffic resulted. So for anybody experiencing a high traffic event, the most important thing is to keep things simple and to only deliver the information that the people require, not add on the bits and pieces and the flair and the other items.
Yeah, they look fancy, but they're not really helpful.
No, the matric results, all they wanted was to know, have I passed? What are my distinctions?
Yeah, that's all they want to walk away with.
Yeah.
But Elaine, of course, this became an opportunity for people to know more about Maroela Media, because now for the first time they get to hear this name and now they get to expose to the website.
Absolutely.
And maybe this might be a good opportunity to talk about what other services Maroela Media offers and not just think it's a place for matric results only once a year.
Absolutely, no. We are an online news website, Afrikaans obviously, and our mission is really to provide a broad spectrum of news, everything that's important for us, for our readers to know, and then of course free. It's really important for us that South Africans and especially the Afrikaans community has access to reliable, balanced information that they can trust, and that they get it free. So so it was such a great honor for us to serve the entire nation, all the matriks, and to just expose them to our brand. It's wonderful. I mean, you don't rejoice in your competitors' failures, because in the end it's bad for media diversity, for the readers, but we were really glad that we were able to step in and just provide that valuable service.
Well, Elaine, Richard, congratulations to both of you and the team that's around you that really made this work. I think it will forever be remembered of 2025 as the year that everything changed. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, what an encouraging story to be able to hear this morning, TMS Fab. A massive thanks to Elaine and Richard for joining us and sharing this incredible story. Talk about resilience, collaboration, especially in community. If you'd like to learn more about Maroela Media or Flow Communications, visit their websites and you'll be able to get all the details from there. And to the class of 2024, congratulations once again on your results. Make sure that you continue in that same feat, that same dedication and commitment that you showed in the previous year that we saw in the results this year as you go into 2025. The morning show continues just after this.